What is going on, buddy?
Hello!
It is Pixsmarters here, and welcome back to Last Defense Academy. When we left off, well, quite frankly, that sentence there kind of sums everything up.
Yeah.
We were investigating the situation of the murders that took place. One official, one attempted, and kind of worked, but then came back. That was the situation.
Yeah.
But now we found some clues that we feel may have had us figure out who the perpetrator is behind all of this.
Also, Ava's part of the squad now.
Ava is part of the squad now. But we have more important things at hand right now.
Yeah.
But, and it may be Shouma. It seems to be what the game alluded to with the clues we found in the ventilation shaft. So we're going to see how that goes.
In terms of, like, because we're trying to figure out motive.
Yeah.
And I was like, the only thing I could think of is that someone threatened him and made him do it.
That is possible.
Because I could see him doing something out of fear of losing his own life.
Yeah, totally.
You
That
know?
makes sense. Yeah.
Like someone's like, hey, here's, because I don't think Shouma's this smart either. It's like, hey, here's what to do it, or I'll fucking chop you up into little pieces or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing I could imagine. Which means I think if there's someone who threatened him to do this, it's probably the same person who took the hearts out of the bodies.
Yeah, you would think so. And who exactly that is?
They're probably like, hey, do this so I can get another heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then, not quite tied to this, but as more information of things going on, because especially in this timeline, our fainting disease is pretty bad this time around.
And whoever it was also, probably still using a voice changer too to keep their identity hidden.
But I feel like it's the same way you were talking about if someone was, I don't think that Shouma was the one taking out the hearts out of the bodies. I feel like there's a mastermind that's making other people do things on it.
That's what I mean.
And I think they also that person, because way early in this timeline is where we went out the one night and we had like that weird pop sound that happened before we passed out for the night and woke up outside. I think that may have caused the brain damage that gave us our fainting disease that we have here. But only way to see what's going on is to go forward and see who did what. But, yep, why you sound so surprised? Listen, I've been wondering about you for a while now. I talked about this before. Like, I feel like you were an original perpetrator of things.
What if she's the mastermind?
It could be. I've put that out there before. This ain't new. Everyone's freaking out. Mrs. Samina, wait a minute, please. If you just said with absolute certainty that my dear sister was indeed killed. Yes, the situation points to that fact. Who did it?
Hey.
Ema, I need you to promise me something first. I hit all the hammers in the school, all right? Promise you won't lay a finger on the killer when you realize who they are. I won't tell you the truth unless you promise me that. So I'm gritting his teeth with a scowl on his face. Still, he nodded firmly and said, fine. I promise that I won't lay a finger on that accursed scum.
I'll shoot them instead.
Technically, I'm not touching them.
Yeah.
All right. Much as I wish I didn't have to do this. Here goes.
Or throws a knife.
The person who killed Kako and stabbed Shouma. It was
Shouma.
Let us do it like an old school style and have us switch through the whole lineup and see if we're able to pick up clues as the player.
That person is...
All right, the dramatic pause.
These are all truth bullets.
Dramatic pause.
They're all truth
oh my god,
bullets.
could you fucking imagine? What the person who killed Kako and stabbed Shouma is... Oh, let's go!
Ooh.
This is 13 endings right here.
Wait, is it?
Oh my god, they're including the dead? Oh, interesting. It might be to throw us off a little bit. Check guide.
What?
That doesn't work. That button literally doesn't work.
Huh.
What does that mean?
Well, I mean.
All right, I'm going to say it. Who killed Kako and stabbed Shouma?
Yeah.
Our evidence points to Shouma the one behind this? Interesting. Are we able to save and put a save point here in case there's somehow extra branches? There could be a right or a wrong branch here technically, but I suppose it couldn't hurt to just throw this right here. And
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this is a you decide, so.
Uh-huh.
Shouma.
Hey, it's letting us pick like you wanted.
I was not ready for that to be a thing, but interesting. Technically, we could see if there's different dialogue for every single one and what happens.
Yeah.
The real killer.
The real killer is
You! Shouma Genzaki!
What are you talking about, Takumi? Have you forgotten that I was a victim too? I was stabbed!
Stop running your mouth! And just watch as I expose every last detail of your criminal wrongdoings from start to finish.
oh boy.
Are we gonna get a thing?
Don't do the comic book thing. Okay, this works. This works. This is our equivalent of a trial right now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what happened in chronological order. Let's start with Kako. First made time of death between 1 and 4 a.m. on day 27. You met up with her before that, on day 26, to tell her to come to the gym during that period of time. So she showed up at the gym as asked. But you made up some reason to swallow that thing.
That thing? What thing? I don't know what you're
TTX.
talking about.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to see if I can get it. Oh, I'm going for it now. It seems like his lines ran out there, so.
This is more like Ace Attorney.
yeah.
I'm talking about TTX. Tetrodotoxin.
Tetrodotoxin. It's extremely poisonous. Ingesting just 1 to 2 milligrams is fatal. That's how you poison Kako to death. After poisoning Kako, you put the bottle of TTX into her right hand. Then you block the gym door using a mop as a latch. Then you can make her death seem like suicide with all that nonsense. Oh, I have realized what the blood splatter is that was about 30 feet away.
What?
Do you realize what it was?
I'm drawing a blank.
What did we not find any traces of at Shouma's attempted murder scene?
Weapon.
He threw the knife away so that it wouldn't be near his body and fall in the
Yeah.
rocks that were over there so that people wouldn't find it. And then whenever he would get up later on, he'd pick it up and put it somewhere else. That's why there was the tiny little splatter that was 30 feet away. I was
that
like,
makes
how did he get
sense.
there? I was like, oh, it was his weapon. But once that was done, you climbed down the ladder at the corner under the stage into the escape pod storeroom. You already knew that shaft was there because you'd seen Ima and Kako going into the trapdoor before. You did your homework and went down to check out the storeroom as well before carrying out your plan. That's why you also knew about the ventilation shaft. And you used that vent to return to the school building. That's the main reason causing me to single you out as the culprit. The main reason?
Anyone could have used the ventilation shaft to get back into the school.
No.
The only
You
one that
can't
could fit.
Accuse me of being the culprit because of that.
Yes, I can.
You left your scent behind.
That's crazy.
I can. Because of how the shaft bends in a zigzag shape and extends towards the school
I
building.
just imagine everyone watching like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're like, whoa. They're like, how is Takumi so locked in right now?
The bends are extremely narrow. Only someone with a body the size of a small child could have gone through those bends. In other words, the only one who could have gone through those narrow bends is you, Shouma. You can't say that for sure.
Bro.
Girl who was flexible enough could have passed through as well, right? No, it's physically impossible. Yeah, that. Anyway, there was something left behind in the ventilation shaft. There's probably a piece of his backpack, too.
Yeah.
So it was going to serve as irrefutable proof of your guilt.
Irrefutable proof?
Green.
Red
Come on,
underwear.
let's see this proof. What is it?
There we go. I tried timing it when the text box down below disappears, so I know I'm getting all the stuff.
This square piece of inch-wide green cloth.
This!
Hey, it sounded like Siri.
Out of all of us, only Karada, Takemaru, and Shouma wear something green on them. But Karada's tomato mask is made of cloth, so this scrap can't be hers. The shade of green on Takemaru's jacket is less vibrant than the scrap, too. Shouma, turn around. Whoa, why? Just do it. I'm a 2D sprite, you can't make me do that.
I just checked. Part of Shouma's backpack has been torn. The torn part perfectly matches the cloth scrap. Indeed, I too witnessed it and have concluded they are a perfect match.
Thanks, Yang. You couldn't have passed through the narrow bends of that shaft while still wearing your backpack. But you couldn't leave it in the shaft either. So you tied the shoulder straps to your feet and pulled it along as you climbed up. That's how the backpack got caught in a sharp edge protruding out of the inner wall of the shaft. This cloth scrap got torn off because of that. No! This is fake evidence planted by the real culprit! Someone's trying to frame me! If that was the case, why would that someone stab you? That one act would completely divert all suspicion away from you.
Alright.
Now, this next part is all just conjecture. Shouma, you were actually intending to kill Ima as well, weren't you? That plan went awry because Kako showed up to the gym alone. She had no choice but to kill only her. But that made things difficult for you because Ima knew about the storeroom as well. What's more, he also knew about the ventilation shaft. If he told anybody about the shaft, this would no longer be a locked room case. And if we pursued the case as a murder, we would eventually close in on you. So you wanted to kill Ima afterward. But it was almost dawn by the time you crawled out from the ventilation shaft. That left you with no time to do anything about Ima. So you panicked and started thinking about ways to remove yourself from the suspect list. That's you deciding to kill yourself. You could make everyone think you had been mutilated by the culprit. We would never even dream of suspecting you. Yeah, you're being ridiculous. This is way too bold to play for someone like me.
Who would dare kill themselves just to make it seem like they were innocent? What's the point of being seen as innocent if you're dead?
You weren't actually going to die.
Yep.
Because you were going to get revived.
Of course.
He made it a point to scream
Actually
really
dying
loud, too.
You did.
Never part of your plan.
In fact, you were absolutely confident you wouldn't die because we have the Rivomatic in the infirmary. But for that to work, you had to die in a way that allowed us to find your dead body quickly. After all, we wouldn't be able to revive you if too much time had passed. That's why you screamed, right? And right after the morning announcements that everyone could hear you. Then you stabbed yourself all over and temporarily ended your own life. I can't believe I'm listening to this. Please be realistic. No one in their right mind would willingly stab themselves that many times.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Gramophone?
We're not talking about
Germaphobe?
cutting your wrists or slitting your throat here. Stabbing your own body over and over again like that? You'd be in too much pain to physically continue after a while. It's just not possible.
Now then, I wanted...
It is possible.
Was it off camera that we talked about this? The thing about the reference to the fact we talked about someone else in a series stabbing themselves multiple times?
I mentioned it, and then you didn't. I explained off camera because you didn't pick up on what I was putting down.
But there was an illusion made already here. And the fact that it actually fucking came full circle is hysterical. If you injected yourself with a powerful anesthetic, like Gamma Feel.
Except no anesthetic was used then, though.
No, he was more metal. Remember what Yugamu said? At the proper dilution, this substance can numb the body's pain and emotional receptors without causing loss of consciousness. Yep, and I still stand by that. It does make sense. You're trying to say that I used that drug to do the deed, right? But I wouldn't even find a drug like that. You probably stole it from somewhere.
Stole it from where?
The biolab.
The library.
The details like that. Tell me.
Oh, you.
I've cut him off for once.
Hey, man.
It's okay. That's tiny stuff that's not
From
too
the
big.
biolab.
But the voice actor.
Tell me where I could have gotten that drug from.
There you go.
That drug from.
That room isn't locked and everyone has access to the shelves. Getting the drug from there wouldn't have been a problem for you.
Yep. Oh. Oh?
All right. Assuming that I did inject myself with that anesthetic.
How did I get rid of the hypodermic needle afterwards?
Or that's what he
it's
threw
the
away.
needle.
At the back
yeah.
of the building, was there
Hid it inside his
anything
wounds.
like that on
Swallowed
me?
it.
There wasn't, right?
Right?
Right.
Right? Oh no, it's him all over again. It's his ghost.
It's somewhere far away when you were done with it.
Oh, what about the knife? Where did the knife I used to stab myself disappear to? You tossed that
Yeah.
far away as well, just like you did with the syringe. Did anyone find any of those things at the scene? No. But nobody searched an area nearby on day 27, the day of the incident. You could have collected those items the next day on day 28 after you woke up. But still, you're just guessing at this point. You've got no real proof. No proof that I threw the knife away after stabbing myself. I do have proof. It's not with me right now, but I did find something. There was something some 30 feet away from where we
Blood.
found you.
What was it? What did you
Airplane.
Champagne.
We found an airplane.
Bloodstain. Champagne, airplane, or bloodstain?
I saw
What is this, the
blood
fucking
stains.
Fairly Odd
Just
Parents
a
intro?
little patch on the corner of a rock.
What about propane?
Airplane, bloodstain, propane, no name. All right.
Champagne.
In a place where blood from your injuries couldn't have reached, those stains prove that the bloodied knife had been thrown over there. And that's enough already. It doesn't matter what you're trying to say because you have no solid proof.
The green cloth was the only piece of substantial
Oh.
evidence you managed to produce.
Huh.
Anyone could have
When
left
in
that behind
doubt,
to frame me.
Phoenix Wright.
Oh,
Bluff.
Phoenix Wright.
It's time you stopped playing dumb, Shouma.
If it worked for him, it works for us.
Yep. I do actually have another piece of conclusive evidence. What? The bottle of TTX Kaka was holding. Your fingerprints were on it. Got your ass.
that can't be. It can't be. It just can't. It can't. My fingerprints can't be on that bottle. I was wearing gloves when I.
Got him.
You fell for it.
Classic.
Yep.
No. That was just a slip of the tongue.
It was
Yeah, it
not.
was.
I mean,
I mean, it definitely was a slip of the
Well,
tongue.
yeah, but-
Yeah.
anyway, I'm not.
Give
Dude.
it up, Shouma. I'll say it again. The person who killed Kako by making her drink TTX. It was none other than you!
He's having too much fun with this.
Really.
Shouma Genzake!
I love that delivery. Can I?
Hello?
There we
Okay.
go. It didn't work on the first two presses.
We phoenixed it. That
We
was
really
great.
did. Great segment.
Now why, buddy? Why?
That's the next question.
And what do we do with you? Because there's no, execution time.
Yeah.
Or punishment time.
Takumi, you got a few things wrong, but for the most part, you were correct. It was me. I killed Kako.
Oh, no.
Back off, Ema, you promised.
Like a rabid dog.
So, which parts did I get wrong? The entire premise to begin with. I did not kill her of my own volition. I was
Yeah.
ordered to do so by a certain someone. Let's call this Person X for now. Why did you say it like that? Stop trying to make excuses for yourself. I'm telling the truth.
knew
Please
it.
believe me.
My theory.
Yeah.
Tell us more about this order you received.
Just before dawn on day 26, I woke up to someone tapping my cheek.
Ew.
When I opened my eyes, X was there right in front of me.
Right along with Elon Musk.
No. You
No.
didn't lock the door?
It was the Twitter bird.
Fuck, I miss it so much. I did. I think X was already hiding inside before I came in.
I refuse to call Twitter X. I refuse.
Under the bed or something?
What? We know someone who likes to do that.
Yeah, we do.
Or at least used to like to do that.
Yeah.
What did X say?
I mean, it's not it wouldn't be the first time the motherfucker showed back up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
X said,
I killed Gaku and intend to make you my next target. But I'll let you off if you follow my instructions. If you go against me or tell the others about my existence, I'll blow up the bomb inside your body immediately. Yes, the bomb planted in all of your bodies by that robot known as CULPRIT.
Oh, just who is this X person?
We know someone else had access to the bombs too.
Yeah.
And the voice, the accent, although it's so detuned, sounds like it could match.
Hiroko?
No, I'm talking about Ato.
Yeah.
Jim just being here again. I don't know, they're wearing a long black poncho. They wore a mask over their face and used a voice changer to hide their real voice.
Ugh, that sounds like the fake stabber you made up to fool us.
I mean, it's true, I wasn't stabbed by a person in that description, but that person definitely exists. What happened after that? Don't mind I've got symbols on my cloak, it's fine. I followed in X's instructions. I didn't want to be killed the way Gaku had been. X came up with the entire plan. They told me about the ladder shaft, escape pod hanger, and ventilation shaft. The tetrodotoxin. It was X who obtained that bottle of TTX too. After that, I simply asked Kako to meet using the script X had prepared.
What did the script say?
Here, I've got it for you. To speak to her in the afternoon of day...
Her?
Well, Kako.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. To speak to her in the afternoon of day 26.
But listen, says what did the letter from X say? Like to speak to her,
Well, I mean, it was the context line
grammar,
before
yeah.
that, or the all the stuff.
Hey.
Kako, I know about the storeroom with the escape pod too. I did some research in the library and found a way to open the cockpit and launch the pod into space. So, would you like to escape from this academy together with me and Ima? If so, come with Ima to the gym tonight at 2 a.m. Why didn't she come with me? That's an interesting thing right there, though. Interesting. The plan was to kill not just Kako, but Ima as well. Because they were the only other people who knew about the storeroom. Killing them both at the same time in a locked room would make their deaths seem like suicide. But only Kako showed up at the gym at the specified time, 2 a.m.
Why?
Fuck if I know.
Yeah.
Well, actually I do know apparently. Kako said this.
I haven't told my dear brother what you told me yet. First, I need to verify whether your information is authentic or not.
Damn, she's too good.
Yeah.
If it's true, then we set off tomorrow. But keep it a secret from my dear brother, alright? I want to surprise him.
Oh, that's sweet. I hate that I have to kill you now. I hesitated to execute the plan because she had showed up alone. But X also told me.
If you chicken out and do nothing, I'll still blow you up.
God.
So, I passed Kako a water bottle mixed with TTX.
Hey, remember when I said I was just coming up with like a threat, and I was like, if you don't do all of this, I'm gonna chop you up into little pieces or something. That blowing up is basically that.
Yeah.
Damn.
I have an idea of something that could have happened. And it makes sense with the various people involved of who X would be targeting. Is that X is probably targeting the people that can't defend themselves enough, that know that falling for a plan like this would work, of threatening them for their lives, pick the weakest ones to get to do crazy things. I want to say that maybe this had been a chain. Gaku was killed by Kako. Kako was killed by Shouma. And Shouma would be killed by the next person that would be targeted. And that was going to be the plan going forward, but that probably has been curtailed now that we know that a person X is involved. But I wonder if like there's a specific line of targets and they were going down in the line, removing loose ends as it continues to go on. If that makes sense, what I'm saying here?
I guess, but I don't think Kako killed Gaku.
Well, I'm just throwing something out there that could have, been something.
Because they said that I killed Gaku, remember? And they said, I killed Gaku and you are my next target if you don't do this.
I was just trying to
They
spitball.
confess directly.
Well, I mean, they could say that they could be the ones responsible for it and say that they did do it because they are kind of responsible for
But
it.
they didn't kill. They didn't do
I'm
the
just
killing.
throwing ideas out there, but Takumi more or less covered what happened after that until I returned to the school building. Except, I had not foreseen that my backpack would get torn along the way. After returning to the first floor of the school building, I was at a loss because I didn't know what I was supposed to do about Ima. It was going to be difficult to kill him because the sun had already risen by then. Suddenly, X appeared again.
Ima probably knows about the ventilation shaft. If he spills the beans, they'll all know Kako didn't die in a locked room. They'll start investigating the case as a murder instead of assuming it was a suicide. The morning announcement will be playing soon. You won't make it back to the roof in time. Somebody will realize you were out and about before dawn. But rest assured, for if you do as I say, you'll never even make it to the suspect list.
Kill yourself.
In game.
In game?
That's why you went to the back of the building and...
Yes. I had been left with no other choice. But I was hesitant right up until the moment I injected myself with the gamma feel. Once I did that, it was as if my sense of fear completely evaporated. Oh, X gave me a gamma feel as well, along with a knife and syringe. I'm pretty sure X must have been the one to collect the knife and syringe that I dropped off after I did the deed. Because I know I definitely didn't retrieve them. His story thus told, Shouma slumped his shoulders and bowed his head deeply. The silence that followed stretched on until Haruko finally spoke up.
I just have one last question, Shouma. Do the words back or heart ring any bells?
Back or heart? No, I have no idea.
Thank you. Your reaction was the answer I needed. I guess that's that, Takumi.
Yeah. X must have done it if Shouma wasn't involved in that particular affair.
Yeah, my theory! Now I get why you make theories all the time.
Exactly.
They're fun if they come true.
Yeah. Everyone was looking at us in confusion.
Makes you feel smart.
Probably because nobody knew that someone had stolen the hearts of the dead bodies, which is still a terrifying prospect.
Yeah.
Then Shouma started trembling like a leaf as if he suddenly remembered something. Oh no! That's it! I'm gone for! I told you about X! The bomb inside me's gonna blow up now! Problem is that X can't do that if they're one of us, because it'd be very apparent if one of us pushed a button.
Nothing's happening.
Did this X person lie to you? That'd also be crazy.
Uh-huh.
I think they must have. An amateur can't possibly make a detonator for the bomb in our bodies. Only someone with my level of skill and experience.
So Mr. Ginzaki won't be executed? Hey now. Then I'll do it myself. I'll kill you. I'll tear you limb from limb.
Oh boy.
Ima let out a guttural roar and charged towards Shouma so quickly nobody had time to react. He shoved Shouma to the ground, clambered on top of him, and started strangling him so hard it almost seemed like he might rip his head off.
Go to hell!
Jesus.
Ima, no!
I ran over in a panic and pulled Ima off. Gross feral. Shouma had fainted and was frothing at his mouth. Jigamu darted over and conducted a quick check.
He's fine. Just passed out.
Damn it! Damn it!
Buddy.
Dear sister! My dear sister! My dear sister!
I would want to strangle him too.
Yeah? After that heartbreaking outburst, Ima simply collapsed on the spot. Nozomi and Tsubasa rushed over and started comforting him. Everybody else was at a loss, simply staring quietly at Ima as they stood rooted to the spot. The sound of Ima's pained wails echoed coldly and endlessly through the walls of the building.
Oh boy. This is an interesting scenario of, yeah, I was gonna say what happens,
Yeah?
in a situation where there's a murder at a school but there is no, set in stone execution for if they're found out. This is like, all right, he's not getting executed. What the fuck do we do with him?
Yeah, we just kind of lock him in there, and maybe it's Ava's turn to take care of him this time.
Yeah.
But seeing that one little scene, like I said there, if it was someone among us, they couldn't push the button because it would be apparent. But also, effect number 2 could be that the person was lying and using that as a threat for power, which leads me to where my thought was of like, the first person they targeted was probably Gaku, but Gaku actually didn't succumb to the peer pressure, to which X then went to Kako, threatened her, and said, you have to kill Gaku. And then that happened. And then later on, X targeted Shouma and said, you have to kill Kako. And like I said, it was going to be a line of incidences that were happening.
I just don't think Kako killed anyone. She wanted to be a detective. I don't think she,
I don't know. You never know what you got to hide here when things are going crazy. Wait, we didn't think Shouma could kill anyone. He's right here in a cage because he killed someone.
Yeah.
So you really can't narrow it down at all on that front.
Yeah, but we found evidence. We were investigating Gaku's murder for a while. Remember, we just couldn't find anything.
We found evidence by pure chance. We didn't get it for almost like over 20 days.
You mean for Shouma?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying whatever. It's fine.
But I'm just throwing things out there. Once that was done, I shoved the key deep inside my pocket. I threw it in the garbage. Never letting it back out again. Everyone returned to their rooms without saying another word. I soon found myself completely alone. Looking in the night sky, I thought about what had happened. Kako's case had been solved, but that didn't mean it was all over. Someone out there killed Gaku and instructed Shouma to kill Kako. This is likely the same person who had been stealing hearts from the bodies in the morgue, which is a terrifying thought. X, the real mastermind behind this entire string of events.
Also, keep in mind, they were trying to get both of the twins killed, not just Kako. So for you to say that it was Kako that killed Gaku...
Fair. Fair. That's fair. I had to find out who this person was by hook or by crook. And I would. No matter what I did. Clench my fists tightly. I would let nothing shake me from this firm resolve.
Plot twist, it's us, possessed by Eto.
Oh man, I've had the thought, but I'm like, maybe I'm too far. Maybe that one's too far for me to say.
That's where you stop. You said way crazier things.
Here at Last Defense Academy.
I think it's also because I technically used that one for the last timeline, saying that Eto is taking over our bodies while we were passed out. So
yeah, but maybe now it's true.
Maybe now it is true.
Prepare, be ready.
Prepare, be ready.
Prepare to be ready.
Guys, wake up!
What?
Something's happened!
Who's dead? Who's dead?
If fucking Shouma's dead in there. And he didn't explode, because if he exploded, that makes a whole bunch of sense. But
yeah.
Upon hearing that loud cry, I dashed out of my room. Let me guess.
What happened?
What's going on?
I was up early, so I went to check on Shouma, and Shouma, he...
What happened to him?
Just come with me, quickly.
We all knew where we were going. Everybody made a mad dash for the courtyard together.
He's either gone or he's dead.
And he ran through the second floor hallway and burst into the courtyard, then ran toward the cage without stopping. There we saw...
Oh!
Well, that's complicated.
Stabbed multiple times.
I mean, not to put ourselves in the fucking shit list, but there's only one key.
Yeah.
That's on us. But we didn't have a moment where we passed out or anything, so that doesn't make sense.
People do know that we have the key, and they could have snuck in when we were in bed.
Well, as everyone mentions, we can lock our doors, and I feel like with all the murder going on, we're smart enough to lock our door.
You'd think. Unless someone hides under your bed.
Honestly, though, fucking...
Shouma!
Uh-oh.
It's another locked room mystery. Kyoshika grabbed the gate and tried to open it.
It's a very small room.
It is still locked and will not budge.
Doesn't Takumi have the key?
Hold on, I'll unlock it now.
I dug the key out of my pocket and slid it in the keyhole. Still ours.
I mean, Ima knows we have it. Ima could have.
But it's still on us. Once the gate was unlocked, I opened it and went inside. I immediately ran to Shouma and touched his neck, checking for a pulse. At that moment, something felt a little off.
It's wet.
What?
I touched his clothes, and they were wet as well.
Well, is he alive or not?
I already checked that. As you can clearly see, he's already...
He's fucking dead, Jim.
Maybe we can still revive him if we bring him to the infirmary like last time.
Since I touched the body, I know already that too much time had passed. But I decided to go along with it anyway.
Yeah, we should try that.
Well, of course he's wet. He's covered in blood.
Well, no, I think they're trying to state that there must be
Like
something
water?
else going on. Or I think he's trying to check through its pretty much autopsy report segment to see
Yeah.
what happened to him and if there's any traces of like a chemical or something probably.
Huh.
Cause of death, hemorrhagic shock. Estimated time of death, day 51 between 2 and 5 a.m. Multiple stab wounds to the chest and abdomen. The murder weapon is likely a sharp blade about 8 inches long. Too much time has passed since death. Insufficient cryptoglobin present in body. Impossible to revive.
Just like Gaku.
After everyone had a chance to view the monitor, the mood in the room became heavier. The hell's going on? How'd they get the Shouma when the cage was locked?
Takumi, did you lock the door last night?
Our door.
Your door last night?
Yes, I did, so nobody could have stolen the key from me while I was sleeping.
And I know I'm repeating myself, but that key is unique. It cannot be copied.
Well, that narrows down the list of possible suspects to just Takumi, right?
I know it puts me on the shit list. Don't you ever get tired of mindlessly repeating the same thing?
Aren't we overlooking the other possibility? That he stabbed himself like before?
This time in a way that would be impossible for us to revive him.
Can't think of any other reason why he'd wind up dead in a locked cage in the middle of the night. Well then, who supplied him with the knife? It had to be X, right?
If it was X, it would have passed him some gamma-feel in a syringe.
Yeah, ain't no one strong enough to keep mutilating yourself
Yeah.
like that without being drugged the hell out of their mind. He could have used one of the bottles that had been stolen previously. We moved Shouma's remains to the morgue. Maybe we should do something else with them or have a 24/7 watch?
Yeah.
There are now 4 bodies lying on tables there. At Ima's request, we made sure that Kako and Shouma's bodies were not placed next to each other. Ima walked to Shouma's dead body and stared at it for a long time.
He probably wishes he could have killed him.
Then he said, You
Oh.
got what you deserved.
Damn.
I wish it could have been. It should have been me!
To kill you.
Not X, me!
Yeah.
After that, we investigated the courtyard together.
I mean, X could have threatened Shouma again.
But, like, I was gonna say there of like number 1, as they said with the drugs, without that it would be too impossible to actually stab yourself over and over again. And number 2, he was protected inside that cage. Technically, X could not get in, and he would actually be safe in there from any danger. So he could be like, you can't get
through the bars.
I mean, the cage seems big enough to where you can get away and be on the other side and
What?
Avoid
Get away.
danger.
What do you mean?
the cage is wide enough.
No, handing him stuff.
Well, I'm saying there's no reason for Shouma to take it because he doesn't have to do anything. He's protected inside the cage.
Uh-huh.
So, like I said, there's no reason for him to stab himself because there was nothing that X could do to threaten him anymore.
Unless they're like, I will blow up everyone's bombs. Kill yourself or I'll kill everyone. You know what I mean?
But at that point, I feel like he wouldn't. He already showed that he didn't care about his life that much in the first place. He was going to protect himself.
Listen, I don't know. I'm just spitballing just like you do.
Well, I'm just saying that I don't think he killed himself at all. He was protecting there and it was someone else.
But who?
That's the question.
They couldn't get in there.
The only thing we found was
Ah,
a balloon,
The fuck?
and he was wet, so a water balloon was involved somehow? Interesting.
Was it a balloon full of gamma
It
field?
was lying on the floor near Shouma's cage. Although I couldn't immediately figure out if it was related to the case, I decided to stuff it into my pocket just in case.
Huh.
Soon the last rays of sunlight disappeared in the horizon and darkness of the night took over. It was already way past dinner time. Seeing that none of us had an appetite after all that, we skipped the cafeteria and gathered in the rec room instead.
It's a magical liquid that when you splash it on someone, it makes the wounds that had previously killed them reappear on their body and they die. That's what you sound like sometimes.
I'm not that crazy.
I'm joking. This makes it 3 people who have lost their lives because of X. Out of context, you would think it's the site.
I know, right?
We don't know for sure if X had anything to do with Shouma's case yet.
Too low a count.
Ratioed. Of course they did. We'd all be in serious trouble if it wasn't X. Because that would mean there would be 2 killers of X's caliber running around free. So, who do you think X might be?
Everyone fell silent. This was the question I was dreading the most. It seemed like the others felt the same. Ever since Shouma shared his side of the story last night, we'd all been avoiding that particular issue. But it was time to face reality. I steeled myself and turned to Tsubasa. Tsubasa, do you still have the organic life detection device?
Yes?
Oh. 12. The exact same number as the people present here.
Oh.
That means...
Somebody among us is X. Among us!
They did vent. Well, they didn't, but they had him do it.
Yeah.
Oh boy. No, wait. It could have been someone who came at midnight and left the school before the sun came up.
How long are you gonna be in denial, girl?
She just doesn't want it to be our friends.
Yeah.
Sadly, that's not possible. This device comes with a history log. At 4 a.m. last night, the number changed from 13 to 12 and stayed there.
Aha, so Sir Shouma was murdered at 4 a.m. last night.
Yeah?
Miss Megadori, we are discussing something more important here.
The number reduced by 1 when Shouma lost his life, but after that it neither went up nor down. Proving that nobody came into the school or left it, right?
Yes. The thing is, we're all screwed if we don't do something. X threatened to kill us all in that message, and they're doing just that. The more we put this off, the more people will be dropping dead one by one.
Well, I agree with the part about doing something at least.
Hey, Takumi, you're the leader. Come up with something.
Maybe... How about we make it compulsory to move around in groups of at least 3 during the day?
Didn't someone mention before that 3 is a risky number?
That was because of your 2 other teammates could be working together. But the situation has changed. According to Shouma, X is just 1 person.
Right? That's right. So a group of 3 should be fine.
What about at night?
Feels like that's the main thing. So far, all of them were taken out at night. Then we should...
Bunk 3 at a time, everywhere?
Bunk buddies! Yugamu? Tsubasa?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yes!
Come on. Darmy out. Out, Darmy. Out. Stay. Bad.
I do really like Tsubasa.
Or this works, too.
I made my case known.
Yeah, it's already gone through.
Whew, done and done.
Are we all going to be sleeping here from now on?
How bland and boring. Getting evacuation center vibes here.
Oh my god. Would you prefer bland or boring or dead in a ditch?
I thought at first, but second, in my peripheral vision, like seeing the rest of the sentence, I thought he was gonna say, or a dead bitch.
Oh my god.
We've used curtains to divide the area up into rooms, so everybody will have some semblance of privacy.
Is this really going to work? What if the killer strikes while we're all sleeping? In fact, that's why we've avoided sleeping in one spot until now, right? Also,
Yes,
there's no locked doors here.
And that's why I'm thinking we have a sentry system. 3 people will be
Like
on watch.
D&D.
3 people will be on watch at all times. We'll also rotate 1 person out every hour.
And if anything happens, just shout. That's reassuring. Now I can get a good night's rest. My skin will thank me.
Looks like we're agreed then.
This arrangement should stop X from causing further harm. We should be safe for a while.
Should stop X. Should be safe.
Now we just had to continue our investigation and expose X's identity before they tried anything else.
Keyword should, not will.
There was just one other thing that was bothering me. Shouma was killed today. I saw his body with my own eyes. Which meant...
What? What?
Oh, we are jumping 25 days in the future?
It's not 25 days, it's 5 days. I
We
thought.
just went to 75.
We did?
Yes, we did.
Troops, time to rise and shine.
I was like, oh yeah, I saw him with
Get
my own
ready
eyes.
For your 75th day of active service here at Last Defense Academy.
I saw him with my own eyes, which means time to faint. Is that what he was?
I have no idea, but
Prepare to spend another day enduring the unendurable.
it would be hysterical if he
and suffering
passed
the
out from
insufferable
seeing the
to
body.
pave the way
Yeah.
for
Which I
humanity's
think it might be
future
what it alluded
greatness.
to. He's like, wait, I saw a
'Cause
body today.
It's just like
So
how
am I
it happened
dropping?
with Kako.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, I saw a body today. Wait, I
Be
saw a
ready to give
body
your
today.
life to protect our beloved school.
I woke up at the sound of the morning announcement. First thought to cross my mind at that time was, not again. Along with a sense of resignation. Looking up at the unfamiliar ceiling. It took me a few seconds to realize I was in the gym.
So they kept that, yeah.
Stood up from my makeshift bed, pulled open the curtain divider, and stepped outside.
So was it really 25?
It's day 75 now. We were on like day 50, 51. I mean, not the report card, it's in the chapter select thing.
Oh, God.
We are in day 51. So
Jesus.
24 days.
So almost a whole month.
I was one off. Uh-huh.
So is it just me, or are these fainting spells, quote unquote, getting longer and longer?
Actually, the last one was shorter than, because the first one we had was like 14 days.
Oh.
They're just kind of all over the place.
Yeah. Takumi!
We're like a sleeper agent.
He awakens!
I ain't wanting to sweat the small stuff, but he gave us a real scare this time. You were out for 23 whole days!
Is that a new record?
Oh, for the love of murder.
He's like, how am I supposed to hit on you when you're out
Turned
cold?
slowly to look at everyone, then said, everyone's safe.
Thanks to your last words.
My last words?
For us to move in groups during the day and sleep together at night. Remember? Those were the instructions you gave us on day 51? We've been able to survive all this time because of them.
So glad y'all listened to me.
Yeah. X hasn't had an opportunity to strike.
Don't like how comforting, how safe everyone is when we're asleep.
Yeah.
That also means X is still...
Yes, we still don't know who they are. If we did, we would have thrown them in the cage and tossed away the key already.
Now that I got a better look at them, I saw signs of fatigue on everyone's faces. X is among us.
Among us.
I'll be killed if I walk around with only one other person.
God.
They've all had to spend the last 23 days under the crushing weight of such thoughts. It's no wonder their mental fatigue was starting to show physically.
Oh, right. There's something you need to know.
What is it?
About 10 days ago, we met the boy with the undying flames.
He showed himself? Yeah. Well, he was feeling very unwell, but he said he just had to tell us something. And what was that? I recently found out there's something called a distress signal transmitter somewhere in this school. I was picturing the event of all but one member of Team 1 dying. Only Team 1 though, because the two teams joining together had not been anticipated. The people on the satellite did not think Team 2 would ever come here. At any rate, no matter how strong they were, a single fighter wouldn't be able to win this war on their own. Instead, that survivor would be extracted and put on standby while the people in charge put together a fresh team for a new attempt. Once the correct series of codes had been entered into the transmitter, it would, well, transmit a distress signal. Once the artificial satellite received it, they sent a rescue craft to the school. The survivor would get on board and be taken back to the satellite. It's supposed to be the sequence of events. Also, the rescue craft does not have a capacity restriction. That means people from both Teams 1 and 2 can board with no issues. The second to last academy does not have a transmitter of its own, so bringing the team over here was definitely the right move. Unfortunately, I do not know where that transmitter is located. Still, it seemed to me like this information could be of some use to you. That is why I came here to tell you about it.
Huh.
A distress signal transmitter? Never seen or heard of such a thing before. Same here. After hearing that, we split up into groups to search for the transmitter, but...
We still haven't found it.
Doesn't matter. You have to put the transmitter on the back burner for now. Finding the identity of X was our top priority. X is most likely the one to kill Shouma. Or they could have ordered someone else to do it,
yeah.
like they did for Kako. At any rate, X was absolutely involved in Shouma's murder. As long as we could figure out who killed Shouma, we'd find out who X is. Alright. Clench my fist tightly. Haruko, Tsubasa, come with me.
What?
Where?
To the courtyard.
How? Why?
I'm gonna investigate the scene of
When?
Shouma's murder.
Very well.
I don't mind, but
What's that?
can we have breakfast first? I'm starving.
Sure, we'll have breakfast. Then get to his house! And thus Haruko, Tsubasa, and I went to the courtyard together after having breakfast.
Oh, there's that music.
It's getting intense.
Why did you ask us to come along?
I can't go against my own last words now, can I?
The part about moving together in groups during the day?
But why choose us?
No reason in particular. I just felt like it.
Felt like it.
One of us could very well be X.
Then it'll be a 2-on-1 fight.
What if X tries to destroy evidence during this investigation?
I'm not worried. Could have already done that while I was unconscious if that was important.
I don't like that either. Yes, that is true.
Then what are you investigating?
One question before I answer that. Nobody had an alibi for 4 a.m. on day 51, right? When Shouma was killed?
Yes, we were all sleeping in our rooms. Well, Ava was in Ato's room actually, but you know what I mean.
What about the murder weapon or any other clues?
So far we haven't found anything.
In that case, the fastest way to identify X is to see who could have possibly killed Shouma under those circumstances. The killer likely used a special method to kill Shouma while he was locked in the cage. Figuring out that method was what could break this case wide open. Who could have done that? Was thus the best line of investigation to pursue.
How exactly are we going to do that?
This place is so big that I have no idea where to even start. We need some sort of clue first.
There is a clue. Shouma's body was wet when we first found it, remember? I think finding out why may very well be the key to solving this
That
case.
is really weird though.
Yeah.
Because like even if it is us and we just did it without knowing, what's with the balloon? You know?
Yeah,
Because
and
if
like
it was us, we could just... I have bad hiccups now.
I noticed earlier, I didn't want to say
we
anything, but
we could just unlock it, walk in, stab him, and leave.
yeah,
Like, what's the balloon needed?
it was a method of
for?
doing something for some reason. Because like, I don't think they can mold a key in any way to try.
No,
and
it can't
do
be
that.
copied.
Yeah, so anything on terms of trying to do something extra to get it open wouldn't have been the case. But like, it is really tough of like, there are multiple stab wounds. How did they pull that off? Here's, ironically off of what you were saying, I kind of have a thought
Yeah.
of, and actually,
you mean a thought based off of the thing that you were so adamantly shooting down?
well, no, not the whole thing. It was the one where you mentioned about actually using the balloon as a vehicle for the gamma fill
Yeah.
to knock him out.
Yeah.
Because then it sounds so dumb, but if you make someone pass out and they fall down, if there was one stab wound, like, you know, you could like throw a knife and then pull it out with a string or something, but they have multiple stab wounds, like, did they like have him knocked out so he passed out on the floor and then like used a rope system to like drop a knife on him repeatedly and stab him over and over again inside his thing?
It'd have to be
and then pull the knife out?
really heavy knife.
Well,
the
or a
knife-
really sharp knife. If a knife is sharp, it does not matter how fast it's falling. It will go through.
I guess. Oh, these
And
goddamn
like they
hiccups.
couldn't have done like I said of like throwing it from the side and dragging it out because it'd leave a blood stain on the ground.
You would have to climb on top of the cage.
I mean, you technically could.
Could you?
Yeah.
It looks kind of hard to do, considering there's barely any footholds.
Best shot I got, but
Seems a little out there.
there was a valve with a handle on the side, probably for adjusting the amount of water being spouted. I opened it completely and then
Oh.
a frightening amount of water gushed out all at once, making the fountain look like an erupting geyser or open dam. A giant column of water shot up into the sky and came down again like a downpour of rain. Quickly turned the handle to close the valve. Soon the water slowed considerably and went back to its normal flow. Ooh, that was close.
What exactly were you trying to do?
I'm glad I was standing over here. I'd be all wet by now if I'd been any closer.
Next I checked the central drain. It was more like a tunnel than a drain. The water flowed deep into that tunnel. There's a large handle there as well.
Secret tunnel.
I turned the handle and a wall came down from the top of the tunnel, completely sealing up the drain. After checking it, I returned the handle to its original position.
They're like, what are you doing?
Briefly saw Haruko and Tsubasa staring at me in confusion as I
Yeah.
proceeded to my next destination, the cage where Shouma had been held.
We already checked every last inch of that cage. There are no hidden tunnels underneath, and the bars are as strong as can be.
No scratches on the lock either, and no traces that anything had been tampered with. The hinges of the gate are also untouched.
As I was listening to them, my eyes wandered to the top of the cage.
I'm powering through so hard, I'm like willing myself not to hiccup while I'm doing voices.
No, officially, this cage is an animal pen. I think it was supposed to be modeled after a bird cage or something. See that ring suspended from the top there?
Yes, what about it?
I didn't answer. Instead, Lorman glanced to the bottom of the cage where something caught my eye. This cage isn't secured to the floor. It's just a bottomless cage placed on top of a base.
But the cage is impossible to move manually. It literally weighs a ton.
How do you know that?
There was a blueprint of the courtyard on the war room's computer that had some information about it.
I see. So it weighs 1 ton.
Hey, that reminds me.
Oh god.
Did you know this courtyard was originally created as a biotope for space development research?
A what?
Biotope?
I'll try to keep the explanation as brief as possible.
I have a thought. And it's almost stupider, but it's also the fact that it's actually more likely than anything else is gonna I'm not gonna say it, but it's gonna drive me insane if they say what I think they're gonna say here soon.
It said that before world death, Earth was full of different kinds of terrain, like arid regions and rainforests.
God bless him.
And each of these regions were inhabited by living things unique to that area, including plants, microorganisms, and vertebrates. For research purposes, this place had originally been created as a perfect replica of the ecosystems those creatures had been living in. That's why there are blasts of hot air to simulate a desert environment. It can also withstand atmospheric pressures many times Earth's range.
But wouldn't that amount of pressure cause the windows to break?
Oh. What are you talking about?
No.
Those things over there aren't windows. They're all display screens, including the ceiling.
What about the doors, please?
Look carefully and you'll see the light flickering every once in a while.
What about the doors, please?
There's no way the sky could be visible from here. We are inside the school, after all.
You might be right, but what about the exits on both sides to get to the hallways? Don't, please. That's especially gonna escape from those exits when it gets too high, right?
Those places were closed in the beginning, covered by partition walls. Don't you remember?
All right, they opened up after Sarah released them.
In other words, as long as the walls on those exits and drains are down, the courtyard is a completely sealed space.
No!
What?
So they pointed out you can turn up the pressure in the water. You can seal every single exit in the room airtight.
Yeah.
Shouma's entire body was wet. I think they're trying to say here that they flooded the entire room to lift up the cage and get to Shouma.
Evan,
Yes.
something that is metal and weighs a ton would not float.
I'm going to point you to every single cruise ship and boat that exists in the planet.
With holes, you dingus!
I'm just
What
saying.
happens to a cruise ship when there's multiple holes in it? Ask the ghosts on the Titanic!
I'm just putting it out there.
You didn't think about that, did you?
Completely sealed space.
God, you fucking... Oh yeah, the cage that is basically a open box with lots of holes in it. It's totally gonna fucking float. Are you done here? Shall we return to the gym?
Now here's just one more thing. This.
A balloon?
Oh.
The one we found during our investigation on day 51.
Why do you think it was found so close to the cage?
I have no idea.
I can hardly imagine it being someone's personal belonging. The more likely possibility is that someone made it using the Gift-O-Matic.
Gift-O-Matic. We'll definitely be able to find a clue if we go there.
Is there a log for the Gift-O-Matic? That'd be interesting.
If only. We made our way to the rec room. The scene of the Gift-O-Matic resulted in a few discoveries.
Oh.
So in summary, the official name of this is the sturdy rubber balloon. There is a log. God!
Okay. Well, mostly just that tells you about the items
It
in
was
there.
made using a very durable material.
Oh.
The description on the box mentions it doesn't break easily. How
balloon
long
has
have I
a-
had these hiccups now? God!
The balloon has a capacity of 10 liters. It should be quite big when blown up.
According to the history logs, it's been crafted a total of 100 times? Who needs that many balloons and for what?
Did they
Did they up it?
did
they up it?
Did they make it float using 100 balloons?
Did they up it?
Did they make a balloon like floaty for the cage is what I mean.
Well, they used 100 balloons probably because, like you said, 1 ton, a lot of weight.
Yeah, that I know.
But
I said a floaty. I never said they didn't use all 100 balloons.
yeah, but well, it could be done one of two ways, I suppose.
You mean I'm talking like a inner tube type situation. You know what I mean? Like attach all the balloons to the base of the cage, and if you fill up the thing with water, it will float. Like an inner tube.
Potentially, but in a similar way to what you were saying there is that like you would need a lot more surface tension to make something like that work. But they also mentioned atmospheric pressure in the last one, which that can change
The way that it works.
that changes the way that weight and everything can work when you've got systems like, because they also talked about like hot air pressure and everything like that. That changes. That's like how hot air balloons work.
Yeah, but also-
is off of hot air pressure compared to the
Question.
colder outside. Yes.
Why? Like, why? Why do all this?
To kill Shouma.
But he was stabbed multiple times. What does that have to do with flooding and floating?
No, the point is to be able to get the cage off of Shouma to get to him.
But he's in it. He's locked inside of it. There's a base that he's standing on.
Well, like they just
It's a
said.
bird cage.
Well, no, what they said, Tsubasa, I think you were maybe too busy hiccuping there. Tsubasa mentioned that it's not a complete cage. It's simply the top part of it is placed on top of the pedestal. That's why they mentioned the 1 ton aspect of it, because it's impossible to lift it up otherwise. But otherwise, the pedestal does not come off. It lifts the top part off like a cloche.
Okay.
Like a food
See,
cloche,
I thought
it lifts
was
it off
all.
the top.
I thought it was all one thing.
No, the point is removing the top part that the base is not connected to remove it.
That reminds me of when I was 7 years old and we had a cockatiel and that we had a cage like that and we hung it outside so it get some fresh air and the bottom fell out and it flew away.
Oh no. Oh no.
I think I repressed that memory, which is why I forgot
The fact that I don't think you ever told me that story ever.
Yeah, I think
If so, I do not remember it, but oh my
I
god.
think I repressed it. I was 7 years old.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yep.
But yeah, I was thinking along maybe what I don't
Yeah,
think
we hung it outside. That we hung the cage outside and it,
Yeah.
it dropped down. And we walked out and it gone.
Yeah. So I almost had a thought to where what you were saying of something that like he was thinking was something similar, but there's an impossibility to it. It was like, because if you were to put something in between, the cage and the cage base, if it was durable enough, you could try and, use enough pressure to lift it off of the ground.
Yeah.
But there'd be no way to fit the balloon in a crevice. It's completely down at the bottom, so that part's out. So I do think they probably used, 100 balloons on the top of the cage to fucking lift it up into the air.
They would need helium for that.
No. Because that's where I was talking about the whole fact of, like, the atmospheric pressure and everything. They talked about being able, there's the whole water situation, and then they talked about, like, the heat source and everything. They could have made a fucking, essentially, multiple artificial hot air balloons. Because that does not use helium. That uses atmospheric pressure to make the balloons work.
See, this is where Uchikoshi comes into this game.
That's my last
the science, the intense science.
Is that, you know, I'm not a fucking scientist.
I've had these hiccups for like, what, 10 minutes now?
It's been a little bit. But with that,
Make it stop.
There's my thought. Hot air balloon the cage off. We proceed.
Well, like up?
That's why I said up. That's why I said they upped them.
Oh, I thought you meant upped them, like one upped them. Like
no, I was referring to the movie.
Oh. Unfortunately, we won't be able to find out who crafted them. That data and only that data has been erased.
There it is. After reviewing our findings.
There is a log then.
But they removed it. Yeah, they erased it. After reviewing our findings, excuse me, I put the balloon back in my pocket. Sebastian, is there a tire pump in the parking lot?
Yeah, an electric air compressor.
Is it portable?
Of course it is. It has caster wheels attached to it. Anybody can move it anywhere. Why do you ask?
Sorry, let me gather my thoughts first. I'll explain it all to everyone once I have a clearer picture of how the events unfolded.
How is Takumi suddenly so smart?
How's he so good, dude?
How's he a clearer picture?
And when will that happen?
7 p.m.
Probably
in the
by
gym?
7 p.m. tonight. Hold on, I'm cooking over here. I'm chefing.
God.
You see, while I'm...
Since when is Takumi an expert? Are you going to say while he's asleep, he's like gaining all this knowledge?
I was going to say when he's asleep, his brain is resting, so it's ready to strengthen up by the end of its coma.
So predictable.
We returned to the gym together where I immediately started sorting out my thoughts.
If I hiccup one more time, I'm going to
The
explode.
day flew by as I did, and soon it was night. The time I had asked everyone to meet everyone to meet me had arrived. It was exactly 7 p.m. when I quietly said to everyone,
I hold my breath.
"Hey guys, can we all move into the courtyard? I have something important to discuss." You're still hanging in there. What is this important thing? Okay.
No.
What is this important thing we had to come all the way here to discuss?
Well, you see, turn my gaze upward and slowly lowered my
I
head.
figured out who killed Shouma.
Now,
Wait, you figured out who?
I don't have a fucking who if my idea is right. The only thing I could possibly think of would be to say, no, I'm not going to say Subasa. She's the engineer. She could do things like that. No, don't do that to me. No, I'm wrong. It's not science. Moko just lifted it with their fucking bear strength. She had a fucking hill giant's potion.
I mean, it could be...
We need someone smart if they're gonna pull something like that off, I would think.
like Kurara. The artificer of the group.
That actually is a good thought on that one.
Who did it?
First, you must answer the how. How did the killer stab Shouma while he was inside a locked cage? Once you can figure that out, the identity of the killer becomes apparent. Because only that person could have done all that under those circumstances. Just cut to the chase and tell us who the killer is already.
All right. I'll tell you. The person
Do you know
who
the
killed
Muffin Man?
Shouma.
Actually,
It was.
don't.
The name of that person is.
Are they going to show me all the hints so I can get a fucking thought process in here? The person who killed Shouma is. They didn't even show me anything for it. I don't.
I mean, okay. The first initial thought that one would think in this scenario would be to pick the one person who really wants Shouma dead and tried to kill him once already, and that's
obvious.
Ima. But I don't think that's it.
No.
But who the hell?
Like I said, the problem is that there's so much intelligent work going on. There's so much convoluted work going on
It seems
that,
like a Kurara thing to do.
It's a 50-50 between that, but she's been so out of the picture on this. But one thing we have to say is that, you know, maybe Tsubasa's not really paying attention. Tsubasa, like, knows everything about the situation. She knew about the cage. She knew about the portal. Like, I know that she's around all this stuff, but, like, she had the information at hand.
That's true.
How many other people had the information that the cage could lift up in the first place? Which scares me.
Yeah.
Because just that discovery on its own, that's so limited. But Tsubasa knows it from her time in the war room, just experimenting with things.
Oh, you want to save first?
I was going to, because I don't have a confident decision on this one. The Shouma one they made that one pretty clear. This
but, I
one,
mean, they did have her give all the info.
Yeah, this one, the only hint really is the fact that all this convoluted info came from Tsubasa that would be so difficult to know. Unless it's the fact that someone else in the room would be but Ava, she wouldn't know about the whole ceiling and the sides and everything, but Tsubasa knew everything about the room. Sealing it off, the pressure situation, she knew everything. I don't want to move my cursor that way. I want to say the other engineer of the group. But fuck, dude. Tell me I'm wrong.
Now, if there's a spoken line, that means it's probably her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't even think. Let me actually see, because I don't even know if it showed like a brand. What the fuck? Whoa, hold on. There wasn't even one of those before over here. Oh, there was. I guess it's if you picked someone wrong.
Yeah.
There's 3 possibilities here?
I wonder if one of them is Ima. Because, like, oh, Ima wanted to kill him so bad.
Yeah.
I think they want you to say Ima, but I don't... Like, why would Tsubasa do it? Obviously threatened again.
You'd have to X doing everything.
But then why would she give away all the info?
I don't know.
You know?
I want to be wrong in this one. I want to be wrong. 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 That's all I want.
Don't be voiced.
The real killer is you.
That wasn't voiced.
Tsubasa Kawana.
Well, wait a minute. Are you out of your mind? How is that even possible?
Very well. Allow me to explain. What you did was you know.
Phoenixed it.
It's all very simple. You were. This guy's stinking to high heavens.
Of course he is. He's X after all. Hey, now that I think about it, nobody got attacked whenever he was unconscious, right? Maybe he's trying to frame someone else to make the rest of us let our guard down.
Oops.
After that, he'll tell us there is no need to travel in groups or sleep together anymore and then commit his next crime.
So he brought this matter up in a futile attempt to shift suspicion away from him.
It does make sense. You're the one who's like, oh, X isn't in the school. Now all of a sudden, yes, it does indeed.
Hey, I want to hear it from you. One after another, the others started voicing their agreement, and I found myself unable to offer anything in rebuttal.
You leave us with no choice but to lock you up.
Wait, this is a mistake. I was just...
Damn. Well.
In the end, I was detained by the others and locked inside the cage in the courtyard. What possessed me to even say that? I couldn't remember. But it was too late for regrets. I had no strength left to even sigh. Only a little while later, my consciousness fled from me. Oh,
D100!
Shit. Well, oh God, we were locked up the entire... I had no idea how long I was unconscious.
This is a whole other... This is an ending.
When I next opened my eyes, I saw that the cage had been unlocked. Unsure of what that meant, I pushed the door open nervously and stepped outside. I noticed that someone was lying in the cage next to mine. I ran over to see who it was. Uh-oh! I didn't even need to check. She was clearly already gone. The cage was unlocked. I went inside and touched her arm. It was deathly cold. She'd been dead for at least a few hours.
What's going on here?
Oh my god, is everyone gonna be stabbed to death?
I stamped down my disquieting thoughts and quickly started searching for the others. My next destination was the library. As soon as I entered, I saw.
Is everyone gonna be... Oh my god.
But it's all really, like, Kyoshika's like... Or is it just... But, well, there's no, like, signs of harm on there like there was of Ava, but there's, like, weird stuff on her skin. I checked her body. She wasn't breathing and had no pulse. Judging from how cold she felt, it seemed she had died a few hours ago as well.
It's part of being dead.
Well, that was a few hours ago, apparently, but thinking everyone might be in their rooms, I proceeded to the roof.
Shouma had that on him, too.
It was eerily silent all around. There were no signs of life anywhere. Still convinced there had to be somebody around, I opened every single door to check. Takamaru's room, Hiroku's room, Darami's room. Theirs were completely empty. Abandoned. Kurata's room was next. I went inside and glanced, and my glance fell on her bed. Lying there was...
No!
Oh.
Kurata too!
Checked her body. Like Eva and Kyoshika, she was cold to the touch.
No, wait. Maybe?
Clinging to a ray of hope, I decided to move Kurata's body to the infirmary. But... too much time has passed since death. Impossible to revive, was all the monitor would display. I had a really bad feeling about this whole thing. Dark despondency pooled and congealed at the pit of my stomach. But it's fine. It's going to be fine.
Dark Despondency sounds like some sort of metal band.
That's what I kept telling myself as I continued searching. Checked every room on the second and third floors, and then any other rooms I had yet checked. I didn't find anyone. Finally reached the first floor. Upon stepping inside the mysterious room with no name, I saw...
You gum.
No!
Well, he got carved up.
Oh.
There was no need to even check on his body. You feel an eerie chill crawling underneath my skin and spreading to the rest of my body.
That's his back, too. Ow.
The last place I visited was the garage.
I didn't need to see that!
I pushed the door open and cautiously stepped inside. And then...
Whoa!
When I finally registered the scene before
cryptoglobin.
me, I thought I could hear the sound of my heart breaking apart. I felt nothing. Not even sadness or despair. I simply turned over the bodies mechanically and emotionlessly. Takamaru, Ima, Darami, and Tsubasa's hearts had been removed through their backs. Acting on a hunch, I peered underneath Hiruko's clothing to check her back as well. There was a large empty cavity there as well, just like I had suspected. But I was no longer capable of reasoning this through. My mental faculties had been taken over by a thick, impenetrable fog.
Mental facilities. That's where we belong.
Stepping outside, I wandered around aimlessly for a while before coming to a stop in the schoolyard.
Who the fuck?
There's only one person I think was missing from that, right? And that was Nozomi?
Yeah. Wait, no. I thought she was hanging.
Was she one of the ones hanging?
Look at the transcript.
I don't know if it'll...
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah. Then a passing soundless breeze blew past. As I took in the breeze, a slight sense of suspicion flashed through the back of my mind. How many dead bodies have I found? 1, 2, 3, 4.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah.
Am I missing more? I was put in the prison cell on day 75. How many survivors were there at that time? Wasn't there 12?
Yeah, counting Ava. You forgot Ava.
No, we counted Ava at the beginning
he did?
here. Yeah, she was the first one.
There were 12, yeah.
Including myself, there were 12. And we would be 10 as ourselves. So
which means there's 2 other people.
Who am I not thinking of right now?
Nozomi.
Takamaru was hanging. Hiroku was hanging. Darami was hanging.
He's
fuck off.
Dead.
Tsubasa was hanging as well, right?
Yes. So was he. He was with them. She's dead. He's dead.
Nozomi
so she's unaccounted for. Kurata's dead. We found her in a room. Dead.
Yoshiko was dead.
Dead.
Dami was dead. Moko.
Oh, Moko.
Nozomi and Moko sitting in a tree. Killing. Which meant... But that suspicion was quickly dispelled from my mind when the remaining 2 survivors of it... God damn it, I should have just...
We fought so hard in the defensive battles. Everyone gave their all. We even beat Veshness. And yet... this is what we woke up to.
Takumi.
Oh my god.
You killed them all, right?
We just woke up!
We're the last 3 still alive. No one else but you could have done it.
Her accusation jolted my mind into action as I started to defend myself desperately.
No, it wasn't me. I went through the same ordeal too. My cage was unlocked when I woke up and I walked out to almost everybody dead.
You really think we'll believe you after what you've already done?
Who else could have done this, huh? Tell us!
Moko was right. The 3 of us were the only ones still alive. It stood to reason that one of us had to be the killer.
Come on, we're waiting! Who killed everybody if not you?
It was...
Oh, wow.
Interesting. Fascinating. It's a classic one here. I didn't know this one would be so long.
Yeah.
I thought I made a wrong choice to be like a... Oh, I've got a 3 for right here.
Yeah. I personally have the suspicion that we did it.
That's us?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and throw that there.
Because, like, everything is peaceful for a while when we're out and
think
monitored. But
I probably just didn't remember it.
So, aside from that, because... Oh, yeah, maybe I'll wait for... Well, we'll probably go back from here and get the other 2 afterwards. But when we go back to the other one at some point, because I thought that I had that I realized when I saw Ava's body, is that I forgot about something very important, in that we gave Ava her mask back. And with that mask, it has a life support system that can handle no oxygen and different pressures for up to 30 minutes. That could also be something utilized
and
in the
Shouma
murder.
did say they were wearing a mask.
Yeah?
That X was wearing a mask.
Yeah? But...
But, oh wait, but no one else can wear it but Ava.
Which is why I'm saying that it would have been Ava.
Yeah.
Because there's no way either one of you here could have done all that.
That's why, because they talked about the pressure thing. They expected you to remember.
I completely forgot about the helmet stuff.
Yeah, well.
That means you must be right. It was me.
It wasn't you, Takumi.
I must have killed everybody. Somehow. Without being conscious of it. I slumped my shoulders and hung my head weakly. Immediately after,
Oh,
I knew it.
as Moko said that, she reached behind her and took out a large butcher knife. Oh!
A butcher knife? Why do you have a butcher knife? Oh.
Next thing you know, I was staring at my kneeled body, arms drooping lifelessly on both sides.
Your head is off.
Huh? How was I able to see my own body from this angle?
Oh my god.
That was the last thought that ran through my mind before I blacked out completely. That's fucking crazy,
Wow.
Moko. And you say I'm fucking no fucking shot, girl.
Wow.
The fuck you mean? Mystery route. Terminated Sumino. Ouch.
Whew.
Are there other ones on that one? Hold
So
on.
we
let me,
gotta
throw a
we got a little
save right down
thingy.
there. Okay.
God damn.
There we have different ones for each single one.
Wow.
I mean, we've gone this long. I might as well go a little bit longer.
Yeah, I'm curious.
So yeah, now let's go ahead and make the other before decision. Let's go and see when we accuse. Because damn, Moko, you took that cleaver
Yeah.
out fast. Yep, there's all the
I mean,
bodies.
she could have been carrying it for self-defense, but still.
But also just the swiftness of being able to slice my fucking head off is fucking crazy, dude. All right.
It was you, Moko.
Yeah, you killed me.
Yeah, you did it.
You did it. Come on now, come on now. Come on. Who killed everybody?
Is it just gonna end in her killing us no matter what because of what we say?
Well, I mean, it's with it being different branches, I hope that it's not that.
Yeah.
So let's see how much it changes by saying that it's Moko. That should be the wildest pull of our life, and that's actually the truth.
I don't.
You! Moko Mochiro!
You killed everyone. It had to have been you. There's no mistake about it.
No, no, no. No, 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 no! Oh my god.
And there's the cleaver again.
Yeah.
Moko charged me deliriously while brandishing a massive butcher
fuck?
knife. I instinctively grabbed her wrist, snatched the butcher knife away, and
Oh. Oh.
slashed her neck. That's gonna look bad to Nozomi.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, it's obvious self-defense, but...
I watched in horror as Moko collapsed to the ground. I killed her. I
The
hadn't
way that we
intended to, but
instinctively did that was interesting.
yeah, it just happened. My knees were knocking against each other. My strength gave out and the butcher knife fell to the ground. Immediately after,
Moko.
And then Nozomi kills us.
There's me screaming at the top of her lungs and dashed over. The knife that had fallen from my hand was lying at my feet. She
Yep.
quickly picked it up and swung it wildly.
Oh god.
Nozomi, why?
Nozomi was standing in front of me with an astonished look on her deathly pale face. I stared absently at her until my consciousness faded in nothingness. How could you?
Well,
All right.
it's just like
94.
we killed
Revenge for Moko.
We killed Moko and we were like, oh shit.
It's
and
like,
then
wait,
she
whoops.
killed us and she was like, oh shit.
It's not what it looks like.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, we will go ahead and drop the bomb on Nozomi and see what happens.
And then Moko's gonna kill us.
How dare you accuse her? Ah! Come on. Yeah, I know. I've done this so many times already. And by that, I mean twice. All right.
Moko's fucking crazy.
Apparently. Damn, you didn't get your deathmatch wrestling checked out. Goddamn. All right. It was. You, Nozomi.
What if it is Nozomi?
I can't rule it out. You know, it's a classic front to be like, no, it can't be one of us.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Nozomi, but you're the only one who could have done this.
How could you even say such a thing? It wasn't me. It really wasn't me. No, forget it. I don't care anymore. Everyone died like that. So she's gonna kill herself.
She suddenly screamed at the top of her lungs and ran off towards the wall of fire.
Wow.
Whoa! Quickly followed her. Before long, we reached the wall of fire. But Nozomi did not slow down. She continued running at full
my
speed right into the
God.
wall of fire.
Jesus Christ. Like
This girl is on
Stop.
fire. This wasn't what I wanted.
like a fucking moth.
All because I made that accusation. Because of me. Nozomi. No, wait. It's going to be fine. I may still be able to make it. I'll save Nozomi, drag her out of those flames, and... My body was already moving before I could finish the thought. I launched myself into the fiery flames. The very next moment, I was vaporized in an instant. My consciousness ceased just as quickly as my body was reduced to ashes. Way to go, dude. Way to go.
I thought we were supposed to be resistant to the fire because of absorbing Fire Boy.
No, it didn't make us resistant or anything. He literally stopped the flames to let us out the door, but a kind heart. Well done. Fucking thanks, game.
Damn.
All right. Hey, threw
Yeah,
right
I
into
don't
the
know.
books.
Yeah, the fucking mask. We're stupid.
So, yeah, that's probably... And I don't know what the other line is on
I think
there.
it's just because we were so caught up in, like, you know, students killing students that we were in the mindset that it couldn't have been Ava.
Yeah.
So the other one's probably...
Kind of... It actually gives us the two answers that we have there. Well, way to go, game.
What?
The other two answers left are Ava or ourselves.
Oh, fascinating.
And which one becomes the true one,
Oh, yeah.
I actually don't know. Because as we've had...
Because,
the
I mean,
first-
Ava was dead at the end. Locked in a cage.
Yeah, because this also necessarily doesn't refer to... The way that I can think of it is that we are X, and the person that killed Shouma, sorry, I almost forgot your name, buddy, was Ava who did it. But we could still very well be X.
True.
Or it could be a whole fact of, trying to get the players to not trust themselves because, all this time being out cold kind of does that to you. But you know what?
And in this timeline, because we didn't team up with... we didn't team up with you. No, we didn't do the killing game. So we don't know about the whole thing with Yugamu being like, hey, just so you know, Ato's mind is basically kind of in you too.
Yeah.
Which is making you a killer.
Yeah.
Takumi doesn't have that knowledge in this timeline.
No.
Which I think might be what makes him able to possibly beat X because he has no self-awareness.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm going to select Ava. And then we're going to see where this leads us. I'll wait for it because he's going to say a line here and probably everything. But, this is my best shot of actually guessing the answer of who did it.
Because the mask.
The real killer.
And we're going to say the real killer, even though we know it's Ava. Next time.
Watch it not be.
I swear to fucking God. I don't know where the matter goes.
Because she's the only one that can wear that mask.
That's the thought that came to my head as I remembered her in the cage. I was like, oh.
Because all those things were pointed out in the story along the way, so.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
We'll see. We will see.
Man.